Here we go, it's time, set one. The Pro League Finals, Wunjin Stars versus STX Seoul, spawning in the top left-hand position as the YOLO Terran for Wunjin Stars. Give it up for BrAvO.
No, I'm just trying to calm down myself a little bit right now.
Don't even try being calm, man. We are both so excited to be casting the finals.
Does this mean that I can speak in Korean when I get really excited?
No, it doesn't, because you are an English caster.
All right, well, his opponent from STX Seoul is a Red Protoss player. He did receive the MVP during the playoffs against KT Roaster. Can he perform well in the finals against BrAvO? His name is Mini.
So, Mini's first game in Starcraft2, at least a broadcasted match in Pro League against a Terran player.
Yeah, which is quite surprising because they did well, and you could also look at some of the other teams showing up today. Remember, they had some fans signing at 3 p.m. at the studio right there, at the stadium. Excuse me, not the studio. I'm just used to saying studio
right now.
We're in the studio right now, but I'm used to saying studio because, you know, this is finals. This is being held at the stadium.
Yep.
Over at Jamsil. So if you're actually in Korea, head over there right now. In fact, I don't know if there's any people in Korea listening to this cast right now, because they would head over right there and watch the matches in person.
No, that's probably true. The guy's like, oh, I'm on TV, but I have to keep looking at the screen there. I can't hide my face.
It's like, I have the innovation cheerful, but I can't show it right now because Mini's playing.
That's right. Okay, so far, pretty standard openings on each end. We do have double gas here, and putting Akilon over to the right side, I guess just making sure that there's nothing crazy over there.
You know what? This is a finals between the two players, and in a final scenario, if a player gets a little bit more nervous, oh my god, it's Flash partying right in front of it. Hoja just eating something, chewing on something, and someone was chewing on paper.
Oh, it's Reach!
Oh my god, the man toss is in house today right now. We did see a Hawkeye in front of him, but who cares about serve players? We got man toss in Pro League Finals.
Wasn't he originally on Hambit Stars as well, if my memory serves?
I mean, he was at KTF for a long time. I'm not too sure if he spent some time at Hambit Stars, but he was over...
The KT coach, and on the right of him.
Oh, Kingdom also!
Oh, wow.
Back from the military service, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Seems like he's also here to watch the Pro League Finals. Seems like
everybody's here, man. Everybody wants to watch.
Everybody's here, and everybody doesn't care about the early game because the build order is pretty much normal between the two players.
Yeah, all right. Well, hold on a second. We have
not normal.
Not normal. We do have a very fast second barracks from our Wunjin Stars player.
We also have the generic Green Wings in stadium right now, and also Coach Park, who's the lead coach for CJ Entis.
Yep, recently joining them.
So now we have the double barracks for opening from our Terran player, BrAvO, and it's going to be interesting to see how he's going to try to make this work out.
Yep, we do have a fast Twilight Council here. We could maybe see some DT shenanigans, or even maybe some Blink Stalker timings here. The Reaper, though, will be able to scout it.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be really crucial for Mini to make sure his build goes unscouted. But remember, Mini, when it comes to Pro League, he always try to cheese his opponent, so he should be aware that his opponent is gonna scout with the Reaper. Yeah, like I said, the positioning from the Stalker is perfect. Now he needs to make sure that once BrAvO does not see the expansion, he needs to try to make sure that, he needs to fake his opponent right now, saying, you know what, I'm not going to go for a cheesy build this game, but BrAvO doesn't really care about that right now because he wants to apply heavy pressure against his opponent.
It's aggression on both ends, Supernova Maniac. We have the double barracks opening with fast concussive shells from BrAvO, but Mini, on the other hand, he's going to go for the blink timing, and this map, there's a lot of areas you can blink into your opponent's space, especially using that Mothership Core. And what if the Mothership Core scouts the second barracks? That's going to be absolutely huge if he does. Oh! He just barely misses it!
Well, he does see the gas. He needs to move.
Oh, he sees the tech lab. He's going to know.
He should know that something is up right now. He doesn't see the expansion. He only sees one gas and sees the tech lab. That has to be our barracks over there. Mini, he's going to apply a lot of pressure with his 3-game Blink Stalkers finishing up, but he also needs to make sure his micro with the Stalkers is perfect, because that's a lot of units from 2 barracks instead of 1 single barracks with the expansion.
And it looks like this Stalker is going to get picked off along with the Zealot, and Yeah, Mini is going to also potentially lose that island as well. Will the Stalkers get in time? No! The Stalkers are canceled. Lungeon Star is clearly happy about this. And the Marines pressing forward, trying to pick off the Mothership Core as well, forcing that time warp down.
And you know what? This play from BrAvO is so perfect. He studied his opponent. Yes, he did not play any TvP televised matches, but he knows that Mini loves to go for the early aggression timing against his opponent. So he's saying, you know what? I'm just going to play a little bit more passive, getting the 2 racks. Yes, I can go aggressive, but I can play defensive behind this also. And look at this. We do have to zoom out. There's only 5 Stalkers against a lot of Marauders and Marines.
Excellent time warp going down. Forward blink on the Marauders. They need to be focused fire down as well. The Mothership Core falls, and these Marauders, along with the Marine support, I mean, there's just not a lot that I feel Mini can really do in this situation. He's going to lose 1 Stalker, a 2nd Stalker also falling behind this, the 3rd one very low on health, but the Stalkers do manage to get into the main base as well, and they're going to start picking away on these SCVs.
Yeah, he needs to do that right now. Without this, he's going to be falling behind the economy. There's a factory already finished up. He needs to blink out as soon as possible, slowly blink back those Stalkers, because those 4 Stalkers cannot finish the game. However, BrAvO's doing a nice job cutting down the pylons every single time. He's making sure that his opponent does not have the reinforcements coming out, and that's the reason why Mini cannot go for a huge timing attack with tons of blink Stalkers.
Indeed, so the Stalker attack has been stopped, at least momentarily. On the opposite side, we see BrAvO moving into the starport deck, getting a Widowmine behind this end. BrAvO still has a lot of units, man.
And here's the thing. We have the Widowmines coming out. Mini right now, he's playing the Heart of the Swarm, Blink Stalker style, which means that he doesn't have the vision with the Observer, which also means he doesn't have the Observer back at the main base to defend against the Widowmines. But we do have the
Dark Shrine on the way.
We see the DTs coming up. First of all, Mini needs to make sure he doesn't use too many Stalkers over here.
Yeah, just doing his best to try to pick off a few units, you know, make that force a little bit easier to pick off. Oh, we also have an additional Nexus on the way, so it looks like our Protoss player are going to be the first one to expand this time around. The Dark Shrine about halfway to complete. There's proxy pylons around the map as well, and I don't think we see any engineering bays on BrAvO's end. He's just going straight into the starport tech. He's getting the medevac and the stim as well behind this. There we go. We do see at least a natural command center, so eventually moving into a macro game, and you know, pretty defensible position as well here from BrAvO.
Yeah, so now the eBay is finally starting, but the Dark Shrine is almost complete, so it's really important for BrAvO to know what his opponent is intending to do. Right now, both of the players are going to try to transition into the mid-game. Mini, he's going to transition into the mid-game by using the Dark Templar to harass his opponent while buying enough time to get the Nexus up. BrAvO, of course, he's a Terran player building a command center inside the main base, going to lift it to the natural later while harassing with his Widowmines inside the main base.
Need 2 Dark Templars now being warped in. And there is a forward proxy pylon and a lot of these units. Oh, they've got to know about the TTs now. There's a turret that wants to be built there at the natural, but all right, there we go. We have 1 scan going down, picking off the DT. The second one is going to kind of just have to chill there for now. It looks like BrAvO, yeah, he's going to get the turret up in the main base, and he is completely defended against this attack. And the Stalker is out of position. The Widowmine's moving, and there's no detection as well. There's just the Twilight tech from our Protoss player, Mini.
Yeah, this is going to hurt. Like I said, going for the Twilight opening, really nice fight. Can he pick up the medevac before the Widowmine drops? He needs to make sure the Widowmine does not plant inside the main base to make sure he has at least 1 mining base.
All right, so the DT doing a good job here picking off the SCV, and the turret now forced to get canceled. This is going to delay BrAvO slightly, and actually he did a bit of a miss-scan there.
Yeah.
That was actually just a big mistake on his end. Oh, and in a second, Dark Templar getting warped in as well, having good map control. The Forge is going to allow for detection as well against the Widowmines eventually here. So he's not going to have to worry about that. And also he's getting his Forge upgrades too, but the big issue is that we don't have much tech out overall for Mini.
Yeah, and both players, you know, they're just trying to make sure that they can secure the natural expansion right now. BrAvO, yes, he's annoyed by the DTs a little bit, but the Widowmine did buy him enough time to make sure Mini does not mine as much as possible at the natural, but Mini also doing a nice job, always picking off the SCV that's trying to build the turret, and also sneaking inside the main base.
And there's no energy. BrAvO, okay, he's moving his other command center, but this DT is going to absolutely wreak havoc here. There is enough energy on the orbital at the natural, but this DT picking off a few more SCV skills here, already up to 7-8 before getting picked up. The DTs finally worth their investment.
Oh yeah, completely. Just sneaking a DT inside the main base and getting a free scout, that's already worth it at that point, especially with the turrets at the natural and the main base. By killing up to 8 SCVs, fantastic.
Indeed, now we see the tech transition, of course, pretty obvious from the Blink tech. We are seeing Templars and Storm researched on the way. The second Dark Templar is moving across the map, and, you know, there's only a lone Marauder next to this turret here. The DT can actually just run by.
There we go.
Oh, nope, the DT, or the Marauder sees it, but the DT does manage to escape. SCV is forced to be pulled in. BrAvO, you know, his economy isn't amazing, and he does not want to force all these scans.
Yeah, but he still has a fantastic army right now. We look at this Mini, he's trying to get 4 more gateways up, but he doesn't have that much army. The Storm is not complete. He needs a Nexus Cannon and perfect force fields to drive his opponent away right now.
Alright, excellent force fields completely surrounding the majority of that bio wall. And the Nexus Cannon along with the Stalker's charge out. Storm completes as well finally. And I don't see this attack from BrAvO working at all. And then once again, DT is harassing. Of course, with so many scans, mules are basically nothing this game.
Yeah, Terrans have mules. What mules in this game? Every single energy has been used for scans. And yes, he doesn't have the Storm out right now, but because of the Nexus Cannon and Storm finishing with the Arca coming out, as long as he gets the second round with Warpins from the 4 additional gateways. But hold on, we do have the reinforcement from BrAvO.
Actually, BrAvO's down to 36 SCVs. I think he's almost forced to go all in at this point. With Micro, I think he may be able to pull it off.
Yes.
The Stalkers have Blink, but you know, they just simply fall to the Marauders very fast. The DT's getting picked off once again. The Archon, is it gonna fall? Yes, indeed it falls, and Mini, he's down to just basic tier 1 units, Zealots and Stalkers. The Marauders can try against those all day.
Yeah, he does have a lot of minerals banked up right now. The Blue gateways are still not finished right now. He needs to make sure those gateways can finish up fast as possible. And these DTs are doing a fantastic job at the natural, just killing a lot of SCVs, forcing BrAvO to go on the full offensive, trying to take out the natural Nexus. But with too many DTs around the map, seems like BrAvO, he's not going to press on forward for the attack anymore, as he realizes that he needs to make sure he can kill the DTs coming inside the main base.
Oh, and once again, the Dark Templar gets into the main base. There's still no turret in the main, and this DT is going to get at least 5 or 6 kills.
And this is the difference between having a lot of practice in the practice house compared to having a lot of practice on the stage. You can see that BrAvO is really nervous right now. He saw the DT, he knew the DT was there, but he didn't raise the depots on time, and this was the first time this happened in this game.
Now, his control's been decent, but his decision-making, not 100% sure on that. You can definitely tell, though, like, the economy, it's not doing that great for BrAvO. He is in a pretty tough spot. He can't even think about getting a third base anytime soon. Supply-wise, the Protoss player is pretty even, and he's looking to grab a third expansion as well.
Yeah, in fact, he's well fortified inside the main base. He has a cannon, the Storms are finished. He has enough minerals to go for a third base. He has enough army to defend against the Marauders from his opponent. He could do whatever he wants right now.
I feel like BrAvO, he's going to try to make desperate moves. He wants to attack. And, you know, we already have Templar tech out now for Mini, but BrAvO, he doesn't have any ghosts.
He doesn't have any ghosts for the EMP. There's a lot of Zealots out. I'm pretty sure he's been researching charge a little bit throughout the game. I'm not too sure if it's finished right now. But with nice Storms, he can deflect against the attack, but he doesn't have the charge.
And he just spots the third base as well. I think the Storms, though, there's 3 Templar there. They've been saving up a lot of energy. I don't see this Bioforce being able to do too much, but the lack of charge certainly hurting this army composition. But as soon as the charge, he just finished,
and he's getting trapped in the third right now. Yes, he can't deny the Nexus over there, but he's gonna have to lift out of there once he realizes that there's too many Zealots and the Stalkers over there. Blink Stalkers blinking forward. Yes, one medivac full of units. Really nice micro from Mini.
I think this may be Mini's time to attack. He's got a large army advantage over his opponent. Look at the supply difference. 111 to 91. He's going to be chasing away this Terran army. Charge complete. He can charge out the Terran army and force it away.
Yeah, the Protoss player situation right now, he can tech to Colossus right now. His opponent cannot do anything about the Colossus. He can take a third base right now. BrAvO might be able to, delay the third expansion a little bit, but because there's too many charge loss and Templars, he cannot deny the third base completely. If Mini decides to go for the attack right now, he's gonna crush his opponent's main army as long as he doesn't sacrifice all the Zealots into I don't know what.
Yeah, there's just so much
to be quite
here.
honest, this is so much from Mini right now, and all he has to do is spread out his Zealots a little bit, put perfect Storms on the main ball, and he can win the game right away.
Alright, so we're having the players face off. The Ghosts have to move. There's a few Ghosts in this arm, but I don't know if they have the energy. The Chargelot's moving in now, and the Bioforce there. They can micro back, but it can't micro. It's going to keep micro into a corner. BrAvO moving all of his forces into the natural, and the Zealots are splitting up here. The Psionic Storms have been used. An excellent storm goes down on the ramp between the main and the natural. BrAvO is starting to fall apart here. He doesn't know what to do against this army, but does he have enough to defend here?
The problem is, even if he defends, the damage has been done. A lot of SPs haven't picked up. Bioforce is always getting stormed, and behind this, Mini is getting a third base. So even if BrAvO defends, Mini is already far ahead into this game.
Yep, we're seeing additional reinforcements being warped in supply-wise. BrAvO crumbling 63 to 103. Medevac starting to fall as well. That's the sign that the Terran player's in so much trouble. And he's down to just a few, handful of units left. BrAvO doing his best, even lifting his command center from the natural to the main base. Then it looks like STX Soul, they're getting close. They can taste the victory in the first match. We see the last of the Protoss units moving in here. Look at Min. He's so happy. He's smiling. He's like, I think I've done it. I think I've won the first game here. The SCV's being pulled off the mineral line, but with the 50 supply deficit in the Protoss player and the main base of BrAvO. And no units left but Medevacs, a few middle mines and SCVs. What can he do?
He knows that he lost the game, but he doesn't want to go out, you know, like this, because he wanted to make sure that he can get the win for his team after not showing up in Pro League for such a long time. So BrAvO, he feels disappointed. He knows that he could have done better, but because this was finals, his nerves kicked in, his multitasking wasn't fantastic, and there's a GG as STX Soul's Mini takes set number 1 against BrAvO.
STX Soul has stricken first blood. BrAvO falls to Mini. You know, it looks like he was doing good earlier on, but it was two aggressive builds, battling against each other. The DT follow-up from Mini ended up working out so well for him. And, you know, this is what happens on the main stage. When players get really nervous using these kind of moves, that's a great way to do more damage than you normally would get away with in a standard match.
Yeah, in fact, if this was practice house, so the scenario goes, BrAvO lifts up the depots, the DTs do not do as much damage, and we have a mid-game scenario where Mini is slightly behind in tech, but BrAvO has a lot of units. But you know, we see those battles happen, but constantly where BrAvO does not have the economy down, and he has constant reinforcements rather than just having a one bio ball. That's pretty much the last bio ball from BrAvO.
Indeed. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, the first set has ended, and now we're gonna go into the main course here. We have Soul Key versus Innovation in set 2 on Whirlwind. I can't wait for this matchup. We're going to go into, I believe, a quick commercial break, but when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we do have Soul Key and Innovation, the two ace players from their respective teams, battling it out on Whirlwind.